Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Grab a drink, pull up, listen to this. So, if you're anything like me, you're probably wondering why is Ukraine being pummeled by Russia and no one is stepping in to help Ukraine. In hindsight, I would say Ukraine is probably going to be mad at a whole lot of other nations after this because they went to war, they were attacked, they were abused, molested, mistreated, damaged, and no one stepped in on their behalf to say a word, to help them. I've seen their leaders saying we need help, we need on the ground help, but superpowers like the United States of America or Great Britain have been very reluctant to put troops on the ground to help Ukraine. Why? Let me say this before I go any further. When you're done listening to this, you should also see this as a good reason why other smaller, less significant nations should mind their business and stay out of it, because you don't want the smoke. Retired Lieutenant General Mark Hertling, a national security and military analyst for CNN, told What Matters on Sunday. He said that the key to diplomacy is to limit potential for war. While the current war of Russian illegal invasion into Ukraine is tragic, chaotic, and devastating, it is still a regional conflict. That means it's not a global conflict, it's a regional conflict between neighbors, and they can sort themselves out. If NATO or the US sent troops into Ukraine to help Ukraine, boots on the ground, fight the Russians, that would change the entire dynamics. That would shift the dynamics of this war to a multinational conflict with potential global implications due to, you guessed it, the nuclear power status of both the US and Russia. People are asking, is the US afraid of Russia? The answer is yes. Russia is afraid of the US as well. The US is afraid of Russia as well. The US doesn't want to unnecessarily go to war. And I know some people are going to be extra patriotic and say the US isn't afraid of anybody. Well, we have a mighty military in the US. I've lived in the US most of my life, and I have served in the military proudly. But being hesitant and showing some kind of resistance, as in jumping in, does not necessarily mean, oh, you're so scared that you won't do anything. It means you have to strategically plan what you're going to do. Because any war with Russia could be extremely bad for the rest of the world. Because of that, the US and NATO and other nations around the world, they are attempting to influence the success of Ukraine by supporting Ukraine, by sending them things to help them fight. But they're not putting boots on the ground to help them fight. Right now, it's bad in the Ukraine. You got dead bodies out in the streets. You've got hospitals that have been hit. You've got people who are on dialysis or who are taking chemotherapy for existing conditions like cancer, who had to run out of the hospital and leave all their medications. Some of these people are going to end up dying anyways. You have the water is out in a lot of places, food shortage. You know, where there's no water, you can't wash your hand, you can't wash your ass, you can't cook, you can't, and then there's no electricity. There's a lot going on right now. So they need help on the ground, but Putin has already made it very clear. Anybody who steps in to help Ukraine by putting troops on the ground to help them, they will see catastrophe that history has never recorded. That's deep. That's deep. The US has deployed thousands of troops throughout Europe, both before and during Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Let me say something about Putin. I don't think he is bluffing either. I think if the US put troops on the ground, it would actually set off a nuclear war. Now, CNN's Barbara Starr reported that more than 4,000 US troops who deployed to Europe on a temporary basis will now have their tour of duty extended, most likely for several more weeks to come, as part of the US effort to measure or to reassure East European allies during the current crisis, because America's friends in Eastern Europe are saying, yo, Putin might just go haywire and just start hitting everybody. What if he doesn't stop with Ukraine? What if he comes after us as well? So the US has put troops on the ground there close to their allies to say, hey, we're standing right here beside you. If they come this way, we'll defend you. But those troops are not there to fight the Russians. US forces are not and will not be engaged in a conflict with Russia in Ukraine. This is what Biden said to the White House. Rather, US troops are asked and are tasked with defending our NATO allies to reassure those allies in the East. Biden says he made it clear the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power. Now you might be wondering, as I'm wondering, so what would it take for Russia and the US to engage in a war directly? Because I'm riding around in the US and I'm listening to the radio and I hear newsflash came on where reporters are saying that some of Putin's generals are encouraging him to fire at the US and to fire at US interests. Ukraine borders the NATO member countries of Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. Now, if Russia threatens one of these countries, the US, along with France, Germany, and the UK, and the rest of the 30-member NATO alliance would be required on paperwork by Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty to respond. So, Putin is playing it safe. He's attacking Ukraine because Ukraine is not a part of NATO. If Ukraine was a part of NATO, it would be all-out war already, because all these other nations, France, Germany, UK, and all the rest who were in the NATO alliance would be going full force at Ukraine. Now you understand? The Article 5 guarantees that the resources of the whole alliance can be used to protect any single member nation. That means they back each other. It's a gang. The first and only time it has been invoked was in the aftermath of the September 11, 2001 attack on the US. As a result, NATO allies joined the invasion of Afghanistan. So the US wasn't in that on their own. They used NATO and all their allies to run into Afghanistan. Will American troops be put on the ground in Russia? In Ukraine? The answer for now is no. But we don't know how far this will go. So for those of you who are asking, just like I was asking, there's a clear understanding of what would happen and how the US could end up going to war with Russia. A lot of people want to know other things like, who else is helping Ukraine right now? So Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said that he has authorized 350 million US dollars in new US military assistance to Ukraine. 350 million US dollars. Damn. You know, we were saying that they go to war, we feel the brunt of it because it's our gas. I just paid $91.50 to fill up my gas tank, and a tank that would normally cost $45 to fill. Small SUV, right? And then here we go, giving out money when we're already a country that's in debt. $350 million to Ukraine, to a country that is not a part of your alliance, NATO, and not in your group for you to defend. Today, as Ukraine fights with courage and pride against Russia's brutal and unprovoked assault, I have authorized, pursuant to a delegation by the President, an unprecedented third presidential drawdown of up to $350 million for immediate support of Ukraine's defense, the top U.S. diplomat said in a statement. Previous drawdowns have been for $60 million and $250 million, putting the total over the last year at more than $1 billion with a B, $1 billion. And this is according to administrational officials. Additionally, Blinken announced on Sunday that the U.S. is sending nearly $54 million in humanitarian aid to Ukraine to assist those who are affected by Russia's invasion. Wow. That's a whole lot of money. You already know that the U.S. has sanctions against Russia. Assets are frozen in larger banks. Debt and equity restrictions on critical mining, transportation, and logistic firms. A large-scale effort to shut down access to critical technology for key Russian military and industrial sectors, and so on and so forth. So the U.S. is doing these things in an effort to help, but because Putin has made it clear, they can't put boots on the ground. If they put boots on the ground, it is going to be an all-out war. And we're talking about a nuclear war at that. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's just us seeking to understand what's going on in the world around us. And the main question is, I thought the U.S. said that Ukraine was their friend. Remember when the U.S. said, hey, Putin, if you hit Ukraine, oh, you're going to have some grave consequences to pay. And Putin said, pardon my language, fuck y'all. Boom. And he did hit Ukraine. Boom, 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 boom. And he continues to hit Ukraine. And no one is seeing any military action going on. So now we understand why. Catch you on the next video. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace. There's a link right down here. Look down there. Click the link. It will be in the comment section as the first comment. I will pin it there. And it will also be in the description of the video under this video. Right? Me not give him no money. Me not pay for listen to him. After me listen to him for all them years, yeah. Scam people, you know. Yo, I'm to the boy, yeah. Yo, boy, I'm gonna look work. You will never be rich off of me. If we hit 2,000 paid members on this channel, I will give away $1,000 US every 30 days. There's a link right down here. Look down there. Click the link. It will be in the comment section as the first comment. I will pin it there. And it will also be in the description of the video under this video. I have a promotion special going on right now. Pretty much anybody can afford this. All right, listen, so you started a business, right? Whether it's a brick and mortar business or a business online. How is your business doing? Is it doing well? Do you need promotions? You cannot afford to start a business and not do promotions. Promotions is what it's all about. Some people have a big budget. That way they can spend a whole lot of money on these huge platforms, MSNBC, NBC, CNN, all those. Your budget might not be that. Those are $1 million budgets. At the same time, you can still reach a demographic of people that might be interested in your business. And how do you do that? You do that by piggybacking on one of these channels that the core audience of that channel is also the type of people you are trying to reach with your business. It works, okay? Hook up, give me a call, or shoot me an email and let's get your promo going right now. I don't care what business it is, I can send people to you. Now, before we go, let me say this. I am not guaranteeing you a certain amount of subscribers. You are the one that will have to, or I'm not guaranteeing you a certain amount of people that will come. You are the one that has to continue to push your business. Okay, with you promoting your business yourself and me promoting your business for you, there's no way you can't win. So give me a call right now or shoot me an email and let's work this out. So let this one pass you. Call right now. Email right now. Let's get this moving. Promotions, promotions, promotions. That's what it's all about.